This is how Jim Carrey enters a room usually.
Somebody gave Jim Carrey one Monster Energy drink, and this is what's happened.
Sega!
Oh my god. This is the Mushroom Planet.
Hard to believe this is all a backlot. I love a good Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah, no, this wasn't even part of the movie. Jim Carrey's just been doing this every day.
See, you see that logo and you're like, all right, they're getting this right. I gotta say, this one is a huge improvement.
I gotta say, his homemade Vaseline looks lackluster.
Why is he drinking it? Okay, you remember in the beginning? At the very beginning of the first one, and he's like, ultimate power in that quill. As soon as he sees Knuckles, immediately he drops the quill, and then suddenly it doesn't matter anymore. The whole plot of the first one is just dropped. This movie has nothing to do with magical E.T. Sonic and his superpowers that he inexplicably has.
That's good, because they get to do this.
No,
like
this
him
is all
trying
great.
to make coffee out of mushrooms, and, you know, he's messing around with his ship, and they can just go wherever they want with the narrative instead of being, like, tied to this one MacGuffin.
Totally. I love a good story where the character is left with just the wreckage of the last movie. Like, all he's got is that, what do you call it, the Eggmobile?
And see, look, the blue quill's being used. That's his battery.
Yeah, it is. It is. This is the last time he'll use it.
That's a good use of a MacGuffin. It had its use in the first one, and it's like, why does he use it in the second one? Well, he doesn't need it anymore. He's got Knuckles.
Yeah, no, exactly. What I really like about it, it's just so cleverly done. Every single part of this, I love it. And there's a whole deleted scene where he drinks too much mushroom coffee and he starts tripping out.
Oh, they should have kept that. I would have loved like a good 40-minute Robotnik and mushroom.
We can't get rid of any Jim Carrey improv.
No,
Look
leave
at
it.
the set. Look at it.
He says that is not a set. That's computer animated. You can't convince me otherwise.
Look how beautiful it is.
Look, and I bet it was still cheaper than shooting on point in whatever town they did the first one in. Look at this set. Yeah, they handcrafted this, and they built the sky and the moons too. It was very expensive to build 3 moons and then put them into orbit just for this movie, but it was even more expensive to take them down.
You don't love the perpetual vaporwave concert we're looking at?
Actually, it looks really cool.
God, it's gorgeous.
It manages to have a real cartoon-like quality to it as well, which is nice.
Yeah. You know what's weird in the comic adaptation, not that I've read it, these guys are basically bounty hunters and Knuckles is their slave.
Huh. Yeah, see, I never quite understood who these guys were, but then I stopped caring real quick.
It really doesn't matter.
But look, they got birds on their head.
This is the last part of the movie they wrote, which I think makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Writing the ending at the start writing the start at the ending is a great way to make sure that the start makes sense.
And you never quite know what the tone's going to be. Writing 101, write the start at the end so you set people up for the right movie.
Yeah, and you don't end up locked into some kind of MacGuffin bolt that you don't need.
Look, he's doing the Ugandan thing.
I'll be happy to show you the way. I like it. Perfect. Like, that's the other thing about Jim Carrey. You can have him say any dumb shit, and it generally comes across as funny because his delivery is that good.
Hey, Seattle!
What city is this?
Hey! They shot none of this here.
I like that dog.
They got that part right, except that lady would not live in a house. She would be laying on the ground.
This isn't correct. The police are doing stuff.
I didn't know this was science fiction.
Yeah, that's how you know this is science fiction. The Seattle police trying to stop a crime?
This is exactly the scene from Ninja Turtles 2, the Michael Bay one.
I like that SSX tricky game, so when I hear that and then I see this video game movie, I'm like, yeah, those themes. I think it's interesting that these bank robbers have such well-made pipe bombs.
Well, how do you make a pipe bomb again?
Oh, well, let me give you these detailed instructions. Oh, they look like the Duke Nukem pipe bombs, though. That's a nice. I don't know if that's intentional.
Dude, the first one is no masterpiece, but this is so, like, the tone is so locked in. Like, they got it perfect.
Sonic's having a character arc. Look at him go. Imagine the smell, Brian. Imagine the smell.
That's what Seattle already smelled like. All right, so I realized we can almost not rip this movie.
Look out, there's a cat in there.
You
all
remember
the animals in the sewer right now?
all
the little critters, the raccoons, the possums, the rats.
Do you remember?
All those little cute little fuzzy guys. They're in there right now, and they don't know what's about to happen, but it's all Sonic's fault.
Do you remember what I was saying, that this franchise is full of people at sidewalk cafes in the middle of the night?
You need them. You need them for Sonic to run up on.
Who the fuck are these people?
What kind of dumbass gets
Oh,
double
God.
strawberry?
Did you see how that thing was like pulled off with string?
Yeah, that didn't look really good.
This is the
okay,
reference.
all those animals are dead, Brian. Here they go.
This is actually a reference to Sonic Adventure when chaos becomes perfect and all the water comes out.
Sonic's just running through the sewage water. He's like, ah, sewage. He's just trying to give things cancer. He's not even.
He's pointing at like random animals.
Yeah, he's like, I hate you, squirrel.
I heard technically they upgraded the crap out of these models, but I mean, they look good last time too.
Yeah.
Sonic's a thief.
Oh, hell yeah. $300? Fuck yeah. Give you some chili dogs. Chili dogs.
All right. You will notice in that map, there is a Chaos Emerald on it. And I assure you, they did not plan for that have to do with anything.
You can say it a third time. Go ahead.
They did not plan for that to have to do with anything.
Don't edit that.
No, of course, you'll cut this all out.
Look at that CG blanket. Look at that computer blanket.
I love it.
Did they green screen the texture over the blanket? Did they have like a chroma key blanket that they threw a texture onto or something? Because the dog pulling that PS2 blanket off of him was jarring.
I have a complaint. Why is he on the water if he's so scared of water?
I have a complaint. Where's his reflection in the water? He has none. You know, if my friend fell in the water and started acting like that,
there'd be an intervention.
I'd never take him to the lake again. Or I'd take him to the lake more often. A lot of these bits are kind of recycled from other films and movies and all that, but it's not entirely unwanted. And what is Sonic the Hedgehog if not a blatant copy of Super Mario Brothers?
It's pretty smart. You just take something that someone already did, and then you just make it work. You just make it work a little bit better.
You make a good point, because the only like set of Mario characters that I even view as being human are the ones from that like 1990s Mario Brothers movie. All the other attempts to humanize Mario just comes across as weird. Everything about his life doesn't make any sense. Or if I see the Sonic stuff, I'm like, hey, look, Sonic seems to have like a soul.
Yeah.
Feelings or something.
I gotta say also, we didn't talk about this too much, but to make a Sonic movie, I still think like you could have done the Super Mario movie route. I mean, Chris Pratt could have been Sonic as much as anyone, for God's sake, but like, do you know what I mean? Where it's all CGI and Sonic is in Green Hill Zone and they fight Gilbert Gottfried as Robotnik. Well, I guess now they can't do that, but you know what I mean, where that is just as likely happening as live action Sonic lives with a cop.
Well, they've done it. Didn't they have like an anime movie?
The anime one was pretty, I like the animation.
But like the story's just gobbledygook. It's like nonsense.
It
story.
is.
Just,
you know, it's. I wish that had run a couple more episodes because it was at least well produced.
And I don't think that was like a translation issue with the Japanese movie to the English. I think it was just literally like, it's like, I don't know. He like goes places and there's a big thing.
Yeah, he made Metal Robotnik. But then there's a twist that there's also a Metal Sonic.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Or at least this makes sense. And I think that's the issue with a lot of the other video game movies is that the stories make no sense.
Well, and you're going to get to the point of this one where basically the human characters don't matter at all. Like, you could completely get rid of them to a degree.
They're there at the end of the episode to tell Sonic what he's learned.
Yeah, exactly. See, I like this stuff. They knew how to make Sonic likable.
I like that dog, Brian. He looks
chill.
like Mr. Peanut Butter from BoJack Horseman.
What is this, a crossover episode? Does the dog not see the giant glowing ring? It's almost like it's not...
I'm going to guess that the dog's not seeing much of anything right now. The dog just knows if I sit here and I don't fuck around,
God,
they're going to give me a treat.
Look at that effect. It's so cute how the ring closes.
Hell yeah, more copyrighted music.
I like how this feels like a modern version of when you watch a 90s movie and the kids Home Alone. Like, just use 90s music now and it sounds perfectly modern.
No, this kind of scene always works just as long as you show the character having actual fun.
Yeah, no, and he's a thief. That doesn't excuse it, Sonic. You fucked up their numbering system.
Yeah, and just putting the money there doesn't make it better either. Oh, hell yeah, I like
the
that
stolen
scene.
money.
The lawnmower inside over all the garbage food should have gone on for like 5 more seconds.
Keep
that
cutting back to it.
Yeah, well, see, that's how you do that scene right. You put on the nice poppy music, and then you show the character having literal fun.
I had to double check this, but this is not any of the same footage from movie 1. He's got like a little backpack. I mean, they had to make it fit. That also means that shot at the end of number 1 takes place like a year later.
I can only imagine how complicated it is to organize all of the computer rigs, all of the tail. They probably got like 12, 30. Oh, yeah, he just hits the power lines. Don't fly in the dark, Tails. It's dangerous to fly at night.
All these characters steal cars. I don't get it.
The coffee shop's called the Mean Bean.
Oh, that's made for me.
That game was only released in America, Brian. Did you know that?
In Japan, they call it the Poyo Poyo Coffee House. Do you think?
Wow, he's got really good fucking bandwidth to get 4K video like that.
Even Sonic has like the one with the notch. Like, that's not the cheap phone.
Sonic's in the woods and he's getting a 5G connection at 100 up and 100 down. And he's doing 4K video streaming to a guy on an island.
Hey, I wanna give some credit. They got the time zones right.
Okay, they did get the time zones right. I do like that.
That's
but
a
there's
nice little thing.
Way on earth that video's not getting buffered to hell. Anybody watching this right now is going to see this video in lower quality than he gets to FaceTime from an island to the woods.
There's enough people there that I also have a feeling the bandwidth is just fucked up, like in general.
Yeah, there's like 1,000 people there. Their tower's
like
going to be jammed.
Like when you're on the freeway and you're trying to get like a podcast going and it's buffering. It's like that.
Yeah, too many people in one place.
Okay, so this actor, his mustache and beard, pure airbrush. Why do you think they shot it? No, why do you think they shot it in Hawaii? Why do you think? Is it because Sonic takes place in Hawaii sometimes?
Like there's a relation between Japan and Hawaii because it's close enough for them to fly there and for it not to be a huge pain in the ass.
I hadn't thought about that. The reason is because in like movies like Sarah Marshall, the whole point is that, oh boy, we're in Hawaii. We get to have a free vacation while we film this.
Oh yeah, you totally get to just chill out. I'm sure it's nothing but fun.
They were saying they went swimming every day. This movie sounds awesome. I don't think any of it's in Russia. I don't think any single, not even like the drone shots. Even when Jim Carrey doesn't move, he's animated.
He looks medicated.
Jim Carrey or Eggman?
Jim Carrey. And I don't mean this as an insult, but he looks like how I feel after I go to the dentist and they give me some of those, medicine.
I like he's wearing makeup on his eyes. Yeah, remember what I was saying about, like, he was like Count Olaf in Unfortunate Events, and he was Big Mama's house. No, he was the Grinch. This is the costume work I wanted. This looks amazing. I like a villain that's having a good time.
Yeah. You never get the sense that Robotnik's not enjoying himself in this movie. I like that. Yeah,
exactly. I like there's no pretense that he's a good guy either. He's just immediately evil.
They literally stayed off the beat that he's a war criminal who is in like Syria and like 12 rebellions with like missile bomb drones. So he's got a kill count. He's definitely not a good guy.
No, but I love that he's like even from the word go with the laboratory, it's got a sign that says evil lab on it.
Like somebody knows what he is.
Yeah. He is literally chewing the scenery.
He's not covered in like colors and stuff, and he's still like the thing you're paying attention to the most.
I know. Yeah, I'm still looking at him in the corner every time Knuckles breaks a wall.
Eating that popcorn. Yeah, there you go. It's like, oh my god, Knuckles is strong as Sonic. Like, no, duh, it's red versus blue.
Oh yeah, I
wanted
wanted
to understand about that.
I have a list of every time Sega's ever tried to make like a bad Sonic. Every other Sonic game they have a rival for him. So first we had Echidna Sonic. And then we had Black Sonic with red quills, and we had Robot Sonic, and Future Sonic, and Other Dimension Sonic, that's a cat, and then we had Silver Metal Sonic, and Infinite the Jackal Sonic, and then we had Bird Sonic and Sonic Riders. They really like having a character that's like, his speed is matched by this other guy.
Yeah, and then Sonic's the fastest thing alive by like 5 miles per hour.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny that he just killed him with the car. Like I don't
have insurance.
I know they're computer animated and they're invincible, But hitting somebody with a car at like 20 miles per hour is still like real brutal to do to someone. That
Jim Carrey's faring better against the car than Knuckles was.
yeah.
Do you think that was improv? Him licking the windshield?
No, it's actually Jim Carrey. They just threw him off a cop car right there.
Maybe he is
he
medicated.
demanded.
This is actual dash cam footage from... Have you heard that story when he was filming Cable Guy where he went to a Renaissance fair and he was so pissed off he was shouting at a cop like, arrest me, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, put me in a headlock? I'm Jim Carrey.
That sounds fun.
I imagine that Jim Carrey's a really fun dude from like 100 feet away.
Yeah, but then like after a week with him, you're like, oh my god, I gotta leave Hollywood. He's like, somebody stop me, and you actually have to. He's like got all the electric appliances hanging over the bathtub, and there's like cats running around all over the place. And like, somebody stop me!
He's got knives hanging from like a Rube Goldberg string on the. He's still dressed as Robotnik.
Yeah, pull the breaker and get the pepper spray. Jim Carrey is doing in living color again.
911. What's your emergency? It's Jim Carrey. Just get over here.
It's
We'll send
Fire
a car
Marshal
right out.
Bill again. Like, Fire Marshal Bill? Oh, we're not coming. Good luck.
They put Knuckles through so much. He's gonna die.
Yeah, now that you mention it, you know that Sonic's like, I don't kill people, but they've hit Knuckles with a car and threw him off a cliff.
I love it. I love they got the Tails flying Sonic around. That's great.
Yeah, that could have been really easy to screw up.
I gotta say they wrote Tails really hateable, and that makes me like him more. That like anything he says.
Nah, he's supposed to have like little bro energy, isn't he?
Yeah,
Or like cousin
Dude, look
energy.
like I'm not used to these characters being well written. I love the
Oh
lawnmower.
yeah, of course.
The lawnmower is so great.
Is that the same lawnmower they used to chew up the snacks?
Yeah, it is. It is a John Deere lawnmower.
It's a good reuse of a thing that was just laying around.
Just lying around. That was just lying around outside the studio one day with a big note.
That was also CG. Oh, this is a nice scene. You can't. Oh, that's good. You can't hear the music, but it's it's smooth.
This dude has such LDE.
That's how I order coffee. I look at him just like that too. I don't tip. Get angry. Leave shit all over the counter.
I did a VO session with Mike Pollock, and I asked him if he was in this, and he said, I think I might be, but I don't know. I don't think he's in this.
He might not be, but I've done enough recordings for things that appeared and stuff that I didn't agree to and I didn't know existed. I'm like, oh, I did do that? Okay, cool. That's nice, I guess. I mean,
isn't this guy
I think I got paid.
This guy who runs the coffee shop, like the Agent Stone character, isn't he technically also like a war criminal?
Yeah, but like
he makes good
he's
coffee.
Like in with the government though, right? He's in with like the general of the United States military, so I'm pretty sure.
So the general's not watching him, but they're watching Sonic's family?
Probably watching them all, but he's just making coffee.
Oh, do you know why they can't find Agent Stone? He's using NordVPN.
Cut that now until I get the check. Cut that.
I love this. I love a good suit-up scene in a movie.
The little robot that shoots water into his mouth is pretty good. Like that's an impossible amount of water to fit inside that little robot.
You got to reload that thing every day.
Yeah, well, you have to reload that thing twice just to use it once.
You know what Dr. Eggman never had is like an evil trench coat. Nailed it. I like the evil trench coat. It's not from the games.
You weren't allowed to use trench coats for a while there, Brian.
Sonic predates many tragedies. I do kind of like that they in the lore of it. The goggles really bother me that there's no strap, and apparently they actually had a crew of CGI people to like take the strap off the goggles.
Well, I mean, he's supposed to be futuristic. I get it. His goggles wouldn't need straps.
I mean, you know what? These animators work for peanuts anyway. It's fine. A ham sandwich and a handshake. Oh yeah, you're right.
They're allowed to have the office air conditioning on for 2 hours if they turn their work in on time. If they turn their work in on time, of course.
Right, but overtime doesn't count towards that when they make...
yeah, if they get overtime, they get to drink water from the condenser on the air conditioner. Some of the more wily ones learn to lick the windows to get moisture off of it. They last longer.
Look at it!
Yeah!
Look at it! Yeah!
Yay!
Yeah!
I want one. This is the ultimate form of transportation.
We're all going to be walking around in those in the next couple years.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So they all live in the past in trees, but also they have like teleportation. They have holograms.
Shit, no, Brian, I figured it out. Okay, so there's talking owls, right? That must
No,
mean there's talking ants.
This is just a movie, dude.
And if there's talking ants, the ants could build the microchips.
The ants are in little sweatshops.
Yeah, they're tiny enough.
There's little nets around the... Oh, man. Actually, ants wouldn't hurt themselves if they fell out. Ants, their bodies are so dense they don't get hurt. They have wind resistance when they drop. So you wouldn't even have to worry if they get depressed.
I'm glad they went with, like, I knew a kid who was named Knuckles who could fit a knuckle in his mouth instead of, like, I had an uncle named Knuckles who could fit his fist in it.
That character, Jim Carrey, kept going, why isn't he on set? Bring him back on set. He's funny.
Well, yeah, it's a comedy duo with these two. That's how it works.
He's great.
Like,
no, he's great. Idris Elba, great choice as Knuckles. I love that James Marsden is supposed to be, like, out of shape in this world.
Look at my muscle definition.
If only you looked like this, James Marsden.
It's got to be a joke within the writing, too. They had to have known. It's like, they told him to gain weight, and he's been eating pizzas every day, but he's so fit that it's just not working.
Yeah. Oh, look, another moral that I forgot about. See, Sonic doesn't have a squad like this new brother-in-law character. Sonic needs a squad. I don't know if he'll find one on his journey. What the fuck is going on?
He's gonna smell like champagne all day.
Champagne showers. Oh, piece of trivia. This is Jim Carrey's biggest box office opening of all time.
Good for him. He deserves it.
I hope he does number 3. He is... It's weird to me that this is the one people thought, like, oh, calm down, Jim Carrey, because this is the one I think he gets it. He's perfect in it.
Oh, no, they're both great. I can see why he'd be pensive about doing a third one to see how the second one does, though, because this is not free to do. This is exhaustive work. I'm sure Jim Carrey, by the end of this, was, like, ready to just lay down, you know?
But, like, it looks so good. Dude, look, they're going to a bar in Siberia. They're doing the bar scene, but it's, like, somewhere new. It's at least entertaining. They got so much of this done perfect.
Now that you bring up that it's a repeat of a previous scene, I like it less. Well done, Brian. You made me not like that part. We've done this. Is there going to be a bar scene? Oh, there is. There's going to be a bar scene in the third one. Shadow's going to go into a bar.
I can't let you take the man's wheels, son. Shadow's going to, like, throw the guy onto the frying... you
can be like, you can't bring that gun in here, boy. And then Shadow's just going to...
These people hiked up the mountain. I can't get friends sometimes who can walk down the street because they're too busy.
Oh, and you got good cell phone reception for some reason, somehow.
I wonder if Sonic has a ring open constantly with, like, a little hotspot.
Oh, yeah, he just leaves a ring open just so he can, like, broadcast his fucking Wi-Fi through there. Yeah, sure.
Other thing I want to say, Chaos Emeralds. Not that this will be surprising to anyone, but back when I was doing Sonic videos, I did, like, an in-earnest Sonic comic, right? And, I wrote in that they only needed the last Chaos Emerald because I didn't want a story where they're chasing 7 things. Smart of them not to make them chase 7 things for a movie.
Them just going for the one big emerald instead of all 7. That's great because they don't have to come up with, like, 7 locations.
Yeah, exactly. You'd have a pretty drawn-out movie, too. I like that no matter how rich and powerful you are, you still have one of those shitty Libman brooms.
I like how they characterize Robotnik. It's like, this is the only guy you like. Yeah, but you're more useful to me, so I'm just going to ghost my friend.
Right, but, like, the only reason he ghosts his friend is because it would be really hard to fit him into the Eggmobile.
No, wouldn't he? Could build a side compartment.
Number 3, he better show up with a little tiny Eggmobile, like welded onto it.
Yeah, he's got like 100 drones and like all these flying things. He could have built like a little like... He could have put a chain with a little bucket that he could ride in and swing it around and try to hit Sonic with it. That would work just fine.
He's dangling off one of the little drones or riding on it.
If you threw a real critter into a fireplace, it's just going to run out of it on fire. And this whole place is made out of wood. They were about to all die, is what I'm saying. They almost all died.
I think these people are like heavily Catholic, and they're just worried that Sonic might be from like an untold realm.
Also, why doesn't Sonic use his powers to just beat him up? It seems like he could do that.
Sonic swore never to hurt anyone unless they're Knuckles on the front of a car.
Or throwing Knuckles off a bridge. Or, putting bamboo shoots under Knuckles' toenails.
Oh yeah, that was a weird deleted scene.
Yeah, it explains why This explains why Knuckles hates him so much.
Oh, you want to know how they did the mustache?
They grew it, I assume.
The Jim Carrey mustache? No, it's you know how you'd normally do, like, you'd glue it on? Like in the first one, they glue it on, obviously. They put like magnets that are glued onto his the top of his lip. So he only has to put the glue on like one time a day, and then they can just snap the mustache onto him.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, and then just a dance off. Why not?
No, why not? You know what? They could have cut this. I'm gonna argue this movie didn't need to be 2.5 hours.
It didn't need another bar scene, but I'm glad that it devolved into a dance fight rather than just another bar fight. Because then that would have been really, really lame.
I don't even mind a bar scene in every movie. I gotta say, I hate when CG animated characters dance. I hate when they dance to popular music. I hate when they're like a corporate icon character. And still, I like this scene. I don't know how, but they did it right.
Well, it does help that the guy dancing is doing a damn good job.
That's true.
What I like is that he's a throwaway character with a tattoo of himself on his chest, and we'll never see him again, probably. But
wait, on his chest he has a tattoo of himself?
Yeah,
is that Jared Leto as the Joker?
T-posing. Jared Leto's no longer with us.
What?
Didn't he die? Didn't Jared Leto die?
No, he has a private island that he like brings women to.
Oh, I guess that was just like, I guess that's just what I wanted to happen.
Just think of actors as the different Jokers they were. You were telling me that all music is now, they're just bringing disco and funk back.
Yeah, pretty much.
This unequivocally is true, according to this song.
Yeah, funk was eternal. Disco, not so much, but I mean, techno disco, it's all from the same genre.
But this has got some of that influence in it.
And you know what? That guy's still a great dancer. He's still better than them at dancing. That's
You know that, like, for the next couple of years, his LinkedIn is just going to be like a picture of him on the set with the fake Sonic.
Where's my extra? Oh, never mind.
Oh yeah.
Last time we watched this, I saw it on Amazon and kept throwing quick facts at us, and for once I wanted a quick fact.
It wouldn't stop either. It was like, hey, did you know this? It was almost as annoying. Yeah, it was almost as annoying as having two VTubers talk over a movie.
Thank God we didn't include the movie then.
Yeah, we cut the unimportant part out.
Yeah, we left the part that you all want in.
What's Pale Blue Dot a reference to? Who said that, Hellbent?
I didn't watch that, whatever that was in reference to. Was that a Doctor Who thing?
It's a Carl Sagan quote when they took the last picture of the Earth from the Voyager, and he was like, everything that ever was is in this picture that we know of. It's the Pale Blue Dot.
Oh, well, that's nice. I like Carl Sagan.
That makes me happy, yeah. I still find Tails grating.
Tails has never not been grating. That's like his personality, is that he's annoying, but he's like helpful.
But in the writing of this, they at least acknowledge that he's annoying, which is like...
I always thought that the lessons for the Tails character is like, hey, don't beat up your little brother so hard.
That's pretty accurate. It's funny that like Tails is usually the one who like runs into spikes and gets thrown off of things and falls into the death pits, and that's Knuckles' job.
Oh, he's also there because women are gonna find that character.
Oh, yep. Right there.
All that stuff. Like they do have the characters are pretty universally likable.
Jared Leto, get off of me.
Oh no, Erza Miller, stop.
Oh no, it's the Paramount logo.
Why is it so easy for them to breathe up there?
They don't breathe air. No one ever told you that.
Suffocating? Why are they? At least they got their gloves, so I guess they're not gonna get frostbitten. But Sonic has no pants.
I love this Uncharted level.
This looks like some Tomb Raider stuff. You're not wrong.
It's wonderful, dude. Yeah, I know. You can tell what generation
I'm from. In fact,
that
cave entrance looks almost identical to the entrance of the cave in the very first Tomb Raider game.
Totally. No, and it's just so nice.
Oh, what they need to do.
No Crush 40.
Usually, I don't like this in movies because it is cheaper to do, but these are really well done.
Oh, I love it, and I think you and I were talking about. We always wondered how they did it in movies because that's a lot of After Effects layering. You can do all this kind of stuff in Flash now.
Yeah, it's really good motion comic stuff, and it's an underutilized medium, I think. But it's just nice to see.
We're talking about doing motion comic stuff in the future. We'll see.
Hey, the tech's here.
I actually kind of see that modern animation technology is getting better and better. It's not perfect, but I consider it an insult if you don't even at least try to use some of this new stuff.
Streamline your production a little bit? No, Brian, it's wrong to take shortcuts. Everything should be done by hand at 90 frames a second.
This whole show is hand-keyed. It's really difficult.
Yeah, And I make him do retakes on the animation as well.
It only takes 3 days to make an episode of this too, which means, you guys got to catch up.
And yeah, since he's not an official employee, I don't even have to fucking pay him. DreamWorks, if you're looking for a community manager, you found your guy right here.
Yeah, hire him.
I'll make them suffer.
He lets me live in his basement.
Well, live is a strong word, but see, this is how you know Robotnik's stupid. The lasers obviously can hit Sonic, but then he fires missiles.
Jim Carrey is obviously inside, like, the front end of that thing.
Yeah, just I like the little devil horns on the front of it, too. They're nice.
Double horns, I have to take a look.
Oh, yeah, on the front of the egg carrier, egg convertible.
Yeah.
Eggmobile.
The Eggmobile.
Yeah, there's 2 little devil horns on the center. It's nice.
That's cool.
This is where they should have played Tricky.
It is. Yeah, it is.
They fucked that. That's a huge mistake. This is where Tricky should have been playing. It would have been perfect.
Remember when he did the Sonic Adventure pose? How did he not crack every bone in his body?
That's a good question.
Now, this is straight out of that Michael Bay Ninja Turtles. Do you remember they had that whole thing where they're going down the mountain?
Yeah, I've seen this in a lot. I've seen this in The Simpsons.
Do you remember The Simpsons where Homer can't make it to the top of the mountain and he gives up and he hits the flag on the thing and it knocks the top of the mountain down? So he's now at the top.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see Sonic do that.
Okay,
That's cool.
I gotta admit, this is really well animated, but I'm completely bored by it.
Oh my god, I hate long action scenes. Like Justice League where you, or even Avengers, where you're watching like 6,000 people fight and people are like, oh, it's so important. I don't track it.
Here's the slow motion thing again, Brian. Remember the thing they did in the first movie? They're doing it again, but with a different song. Yeah, your ankles are fine. This happens a lot.
This happens a lot. Does he go back for them in other scenes?
That means that there's just rings laying all over the place that anybody could grab.
He just left Russia with all these rings.
Oh, look at this cool, like, Knuckles tribe stuff, though. I like this.
I think I told you, yeah, this is the best stuff. I love that they incorporated all this.
I'm glad that this isn't full CG and that this isn't a motion comic portion, because it's the outfits and everything, like the turquoise feathers and all that, the huts, all of it works really good.
Do you remember Ken Penders, like, threatened to sue Paramount over this because he claimed to own any family member of Knuckles?
What a weenie.
Ken Penders is my favorite weenie.
He's definitely a weenie.
One time he traced a picture of Spider-Man, or did such a good job it was a 1-to-1 recreation. I traced the picture of Spider-Man and drew it as him, saying, "You'll be seeing from my lawyers." And he got all mad at me.
Jim Carrey! Get out of there! You can't get him!
I want to say that shot looked bad, but I don't know how you'd make Jim Carrey floating in the egg pod look good.
Oh, well, he's clearly green screened, but he looks so funny.
It's like when you see a UFO in any piece of footage. I was going to say in real life. It just wouldn't look real.
Well, Jim Carrey kind of, like, has been memed on a lot, and when you just see him doing a funny pose, it's more entertaining than the whole snowboard scene when Jim Carrey's just smiling and grabbing something and running away.
For real, like, from an editor's perspective, you probably could have cut about 3 minutes of that out.
Oh, yeah.
He needs to go down, and then, like, Jim Carrey abandons
Now, keep in mind, though, that's for the adult audience. You know what I mean? Not the people who...
Who is the wedding scene for?
Maybe Mom.
Mom wanted the
like,
gun
it's a family
to infiltrate.
Well, so that there's something for her to look at that's like, oh, that's nice. You know what I mean?
What the hell was that red plane? Do you think the red plane will come back?
Nah, that's impossible. What song is that?
There must be like
another
the
Green Hills
Genesis
national
game.
anthem?
The Nation of Green Hills? This is socially inappropriate.
Whatever, it's a wedding, who cares?
I like that little detail of mixing the rings up, just to add something.
This is fun, because he has to be a jerk. It's fun watching a nice guy have to be a fucking jerk.
But I like also from a writing perspective, no matter what happened, they were fucked anyway. I like that he's trying to explain this. At the cost of Sonic's help. He should have just
grabbed it and ran away. But then again, people would probably beat him up, so... Yeah,
all
how do you do this?
This is throw it. Yeah.
This is an impossible social situation. It's just literally impossible.
How come in movies, when they hear the wrong thing from another character, it make huge gaps in judgment? They never sit down and explain it. But then when he needs to go do something very physical, he's like, let me explain it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, if he just ran up and stole it, he wouldn't have had to punch that guy in the face. Oh, you ruined the wedding.
I swear to God, that never happens to me.
That's a lot of...
That's good.
Oh, and I get to sue the U.S. government.
I love this fucking character. I love that he was sitting on the beach dressed like that. They did.
He's like a police academy character.
Yeah, he's like the Leslie Nielsen of this. That's definitely who
How
they're
did she-
typecasting for.
How did she not notice his badge? Okay, I like the pastor with the gun
This is
in his
ridiculous.
Bible. He could have his own character.
The humans are cartoonier than Sonic half the time. I love it.
I do like how the movie makes you manage to feel bad for Rachel, where in the first one you just hated her. Now it's like, oh,
Yeah,
that's cold.
Absolutely hate her. Yeah. For all the stuff that isn't in the first one, I do think they over-condensed a lot of Sonic stuff into, like, one single movie. You got the temple level, you got the gun units. It's a lot of lore just thrown in all in one movie. You could have
We still haven't seen the egg carrier yet. And
Yeah,
how long are
exactly.
you going to have Jim Carrey anyways, right?
I bet the Death Egg will be in number 2 or number 3.
We'll see.
I've been wondering, yeah, they'd have to do, like, Agent Stone would have to be the villain, or Shadow. Let's talk about villains from the other games. You could have, like, Silver, Mephiles,
Weasley.
Chaos, yeah, Snively. That little backpack. Why is it counting backwards?
Boom!
I know no one likes
they
any of this.
gave her a well, she had a valid reason to be pissed earlier because, like, her house got hijacked and they tied her to a chair. But she was being mean. So,
Yeah,
you know,
no.
I don't feel so bad. But in this
they're great.
case, she got catfished into a fucking wedding. That's pretty brutal. Like, you know, when you think about all the effort that had to go into that, it's like, yeah, we're going to hire this guy, and he's going to give her some good loving, some of that real good loving.
I love.
And then once they get married, we're going to capture Sonic the Hedgehog.
He had to give good lovin' like a James Bond type, like an Ian Fleming, just to get a hold of Sonic.
And they did that for this long because they knew this would happen.
I love the image, by the way. I love the image of all the gun troops just patrolling the pool.
So was this guy prepared, like, you know, to, like, fully marry her, impregnate her, raise a family with her in the off chance that Sonic one day would show up and he'd be like, gotcha!
Do you think he was like, anyone you want to bring to the wedding that you haven't mentioned before?
I don't have a family.
I'm sure you have like a cat or something. That's really funny.
Oh, yeah, he's dead. He's fucking. She also just
floating
murdered
upwards.
someone.
He's just floating upwards. It's even funnier. It's like a Rick and Morty kind of death, where it's like, you have to think about the consequences.
Yeah, in a cartoon that would be like, oh, there he goes. But in real life, it's like, oh man, he's gonna get thirsty real quick up there.
He's still going. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I understand being a kid and watching this and going like, when are they gonna get to the fireworks factory? But just I love from an improv perspective, it's like, you have a bag full of tales of shit. What's gonna be in it?
Yeah, they made this character more likable. I like this character a lot more than I did in the first one. And it's just done through narrative storytelling. They didn't have to force it.
The women take back the town with with the song Barracuda. You ever see Shrek 3? That happens in that too.
That's fine. You know, this movie takes a bunch of notes from a lot of other things, so that's good.
This is pretty good.
This is great. I love this. There's nothing about this that isn't satisfying. Yeah, kill him! Kill him with the go-kart!
That's just insane. The
It shouldn't explode like that, but I love it. And it's way over the top. That could have been its own little movie, and that was still better than the snowboarding and bar scene.
Yeah, that is such a difference from when I was a kid to when I'm older. Like, I care more about these random characters. Okay, they shot this in Oahu. The only reason I bring it up is I had family that had well-means, and we would sometimes go stop at, like, Kauai. That's where they shot, like, Jurassic Park, and they shot Tropic Thunder, if you ever saw that.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're doing the after party of the movie before they film it. That was, like, a hotel away from where we used to go hiking.
I want to go there and then say I was in the movie, even though I wasn't.
Exactly. I'm sure I'm in it.
And you know what?
Prove me wrong. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Brian, there's no greater honor in the world than stumbling in the background of a motion picture.
Dude, isn't that great? Yeah, just stumbling in the background.
That's the best thing. This Oscar goes to most casual dumbass to stroll in the back of a film set, Brian.
I would love that.
You see George Lucas walking through the background of this shot, just casually walking by.
Why does that plane keep coming back?
How can they not get out of a simple wire cage? Just seeing Sonic the Hedgehog burst through drywall like nothing.
I don't know why the tropical island's right next to the island they were on, but whatever.
I don't know, like Seattle, Hawaii, and like Sonic 3 starting off on that island, and it works. And this is right where the Sonic 3 part stops. Now we're into Stargate, weird like Owl Tech, Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
here's a made up.
The dinosaurs
Owl Tech, like here's a made up sci-fi civilization compositive of several different sci-fi civilizations.
Yeah.
But it's so mixed up that you really can't tell the difference between this or an original concept.
Proto-human, smarter than us, advanced race.
They're smarter than us, but they're more aligned with nature than us at the same time, despite being more technically advanced.
Right, we've lost our way.
How primitive.
They could build shit with stone. That's gonna cause some problems.
Yeah, that's gonna kill a lot of ocean life. Every country right now is trying to figure out who's nuking who, and no clue how close they are to just dying.
That's got to be hundreds of miles away.
That's how I feel when I was playing Sonic Frontiers.
I didn't have that same effect because everything rendered like 5 feet in front of me.
You could only see the first 5 feet.
Yeah, be like, if we got closer to that light, we could see it.
Yeah, if this game was Sonic Frontiers, you would not see that beacon. You're right.
Nah, you wouldn't even see like the trees in the background right now.
They should get the Sonic Frontiers writers in here, and Tails can have a monologue about like, do I annoy you? I sometimes have dreams where I annoy you. I need to take this out because everyone thinks that game's hot shit. It's fine, but like...
Am I a burden to you?
Boy, is it heavy-handed writing-wise.
Oh, I didn't even pay attention to the fucking story.
God, dude. I just don't need the cutscenes. I just don't need them. I like him.
This guy's great.
This guy's better than all of Sonic Frontiers. Yeah.
But he's pretty much your average Sonic fan. Yeah, this is you and I, Brian. This is just how we would be if we were cops. We'd put a siren on our sheriff helmet.
I wrote a cartoon.
Look, he has a 9mm.
So, but Wade knows that guy is a terrorist. He knows that.
Look, there's Fat Suit Robotnik there for a second.
I got what I wanted. Look at that. Look at Leather Daddy Robotnik. He looks like Tobias. Is there only one pair of gloves, or does he have like sets of those?
I'm pretty sure they put that together with like a bedazzler, so I'm sure that for like motion picture purposes, they can just make as many as they want. Like it doesn't have to be accurate. Real water or CG water? I'm saying real water. I found the easiest way to tell, Brian, if it's real water or CG water is if you can see the character's reflection on anything.
Oh, because the real water wouldn't have a reflection?
The real water would be too difficult, or it would just be a pain, you know? Like, it can be done, but the expense. This is a cool shot, though.
This is weird and biblical and unnecessary, and it's really cool.
Oh, yeah, it's a whole lot like Parting the Red Sea, except Sonic's just dashing across it.
Spin dashing the Red Sea.
Well, I like the concept of him running on the water like he's a boat.
I like that, and I like in movies when a character's going against a wave. If you've ever gone against a wave, like, God, when we were kids, my grandpa would give me a big thing of decking nails, and we'd go, like, build rafts. And we'd build rafts and just go out swimming and, like, try to balance on the raft as long as we could. A big wave came, and I, like, hit myself on the head, and I think that's why I'm, like, the way I am now. It's specifically Labyrinth Zone from Sonic 1. They said the owl comes from the owl figures in Labyrinth Zone.
Yeah, the big spinning metal ball. I remember that from one of those levels.
I like that instead of doing just one thing, though, it is a composite. But they took the Master Emerald Shrine thing and a couple other things and made one nice, solid...
It's very well done.
There is something so iconic about him and Knuckles together, too. Like they're not using any gadgets, he's just running. Wait, they could just float over all this.
Yeah, that happens with every maze thing and everything that I've ever seen. You could just go over it.
Oh, well. Hey, look!
Hey, there's the water.
Oh, I love it! Remember Temple Run? They never made a Sonic Temple Run. I was always wondering why.
I think they had, like, a Sonic Runner game, but then they took it offline.
They had a few. I remember Sonic was known for having a jump game and Mario had a run game, and that was always super weird. Oh, you know what? I do kind of get it. They were like, he will tell 3 jokes in the space of 1. Did he say Mordor will be restored?
Oh, he does the double horns for a taser. That's clever. Like, there's a lot of clever visual things going on at all times in this movie. So even when it kind of slows down, they whip out another nice little visual gag for you.
I just noticed that the dust coming down is like a 2D image that they like stretched flat, and it looks all fucked up. If that's the biggest complaint, we're good.
There's a lot of the special effects in here that look very much like a video game effect, but I mean, look at Knuckles and Sonic right now.
I know they look amazing.
I know, but you could render these guys on a PS5.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe not at this fidelity, but enough, you know.
It's got to be hard doing fur on these guys, right?
Oh yeah, hair is
Looks
a huge
good.
issue.
Looks good. One of my favorite games to just enjoy in any way is like Detroit Become Human. And Clancy Brown's character, everyone says he looks real, but that hair looks all just jacked up to me.
Oh, video games characters, they just can't, because when, like, if they moved around like Jim Carrey did in this movie, their hair would just be flying all over the place because calculating it is just hard.
I got an AMD just so I could make Lara Croft's hair look good. And
oh, that was NVIDIA Flex hair physics, and yeah,
I think it was
like,
AMD
there's like
at
a
the
whole
time. Or was it NVIDIA?
Maybe AMD has one too. I wouldn't be surprised. They're always trying to find a solution for hair, and they gave up and said, screw it, let's just do ray tracing.
Well, ultimately, whatever I was playing it on most recently, I was like, the hair looks fine. I'm playing the shitty hair physics version of the game, and I can't tell. This is like the most anime thing I've seen in the whole of the movie. Either of them.
This is better than the snowboarding thing by a long shot. This is funner to watch than the snowboarding thing and bar fight.
It's more personal.
It's more creative. I mean, sure, we've seen this in Dragon Ball Z, but, you know, still.
I've noticed, especially more lately in movies, that once you pull the score out, like just take the music out of it, and they're having a fight. Like, remember Ted? When they have that fight scene and they just pull all the music out, and it's weirdly brutal.
Oh, yeah, every hit means a lot more when you don't have the score to show the tone, because you don't hear the loud sting, which means somebody died or got knocked out.
It is kind of like watching people fight in real life. Maybe that's what it is.
Get it.
Dude, I love that Knuckles was about to just smash his skull in.
Do you think that was improv, the 1.6 kilometers line?
You know Jim Carrey pulled his phone out.
No, I think he's just, you know, on the spectrum and just knows things like that and just can't wait to tell you.
Jim Carrey was too busy improvising and Sonic got the emerald first.
Look on his face as he grabs it. That was great.
One thing people always wondered, why does he always need the emerald to power shit when he could just use it to go super, right?
Because he's a scientist.
I know, but when you have Jim Carrey with like Dragon Ball powers...
I know, it's the mask. It's the mask. It's just the mask
You're
again.
right. That's true. I just love it. I just love the idea of if the mask was evil.
If this were the mask too, that would be the funniest shit. But I don't know how to reconcile that to make this the mask too. But it could absolutely be retrofitted to where this is how the movie The Mask starts.
Robotnik spins around. He's like, ah!
He goes, awooga.
Hey, look, Knuckles can swim like in the games. How long would it take to like dry off when you're Sonic? I never noticed this.
Who made their gloves?
I never noticed this. Did he drag him through the water for 10 miles?
Yeah.
That's one of those, like, and then you cut forward.
No, if you really want to question something, why do they both buy their gloves at the same store?
the space store.
Yeah, and then how they not met if they buy their clothes from the same store?
What is it in movies that they're always, you're right, they're always futuristic and they always have their gear from like the same source, but they're always like lost races and don't know each other, right? Like wouldn't there be some...
I know why in Sonic, and I can immediately tell you, is that Sonic and Knuckles and Tails look really creepy without the gloves on because their hands are giant.
Oh yeah,
they're huge.
You give them small rat hands, and hey, that red plane. You give them rat hands like the trailer of the first one. This whole scene is a reshoot. It's so well done. A lot of shit be getting talked about reshoots. You need them sometimes because you don't know what you're making until you edit it together.
As long as the reshoots aren't a failure of the director,
it makes perfect sense. It's like, why do you care for me? Well, because da-da-da-da, and it just fits. It's great.
I like how well lit the Mean Bean Machine is.
How often does one of those
it's got
strips
accent
go out?
lighting everywhere.
How often does one of those
even the
strips go out?
stools have accent lighting.
They're not hooked up to anything.
They might be, but, you know, I just think it's cool.
Look at Jim
I wish
Carrey.
I had stools like that. And Jim Carrey's Ambien kicked in.
This is a little unnecessary.
It's completely necessary. I love this. I do this a lot when I'm messing around with my voice stuff.
They did a good job getting to the place of how does he build crazy robots and space stations. This reminds me of the Beavis and Butthead where Beavis is like, I can auto-tune my voice. It's easy, Butthead. You can do it too.
Like, if you could do that, why would you not do that? That would be so fun.
There should be 4 stars flashing on the top right of the screen.
If they sent in the ATF, they would have already lodged a tank into the building and lit the whole thing on fire.
They're blasting Metallica.
They're blasting Metallica at a really loud volume, and the tank just goes right through the Mean Bean machine and just starts shooting fire everywhere. Like, you're under arrest.
Hey, SA2. I love that, like this character seems to conjure just government incompetence.
Secondary message of this movie is don't trust the feds.
This is how Jim Carrey enters a room usually.
Somebody gave Jim Carrey one Monster Energy drink, and this is what's happened.
He really is suspended in the air doing that, too. That's great.
Yeah, this is Jim Carrey doing his own stunt. He demanded to be allowed to do his own stunt for this one.
He really is suspended in the air. I'm not joking.
I love this. Yeah.
Yeah.
With you. He just grabs him by his foot. That's great.
It was
all the
really
vehicles
hard.
pulling themselves apart, too, was really nice.
It was really hard to do that practically.
Yeah, none of this is CG. They had to do this, like, all by hand.
Yeah, Tails stole another thing.
Yeah, they did real smart with these characters, because
I love that Knuckles said, like, I will murder you when you're not looking.
I like all the threats to violence and use of alcohol this movie gets.
Yeah, this movie's hardcore.
Honestly, yeah, like, 5-year-old me watching this would have gone, this is badass. Finally, the hardcore Sonic I wanted.
I just noticed when he builds the robot.
This part's great. Yeah, play Pantera. It's like the Dragon Ball thing with Broly.
Remember that SpongeBob with Pantera?
Yeah.
Oh, so the human's job is to go, way to go, Sonic.
Kind of like in the Transformers movies. They're just standing there watching at this point.
Not much you could do. I don't want Sonic and fucking Uncle Tom on the plane. I just don't want that.
Then again, there's Jim Carrey, and we're like, yeah, the human actors really can't do anything, but Jim Carrey can.
Well, you gotta wall Jim Carrey off into a separate room.
We don't even consider him a human character.
No, this is like this is what I think. This is almost what I think the first one would have served better as. Is you get Sonic and Tails in the plane fighting a big robot.
This one surely cost more money.
This is way better.
The chicken dance.
Yeah.
Bark, 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 bark.
What's his plan after this? He just wants to be in a robot.
I think he just wanted to make a giant robot.
It's like the flight suit where he's just building evil shit for himself. And he's like, this is fun.
Yeah, he's just, everything that he's doing that's evil is just him having a good time.
He has a great...
So
he has a great line in this. Remember he says, like, first the world, then the galaxy, and then who knows, maybe I'll be enough.
That's a good one.
Yeah, no, it's like, it's a weirdly psychologically complex line. I don't get it.
I like it. His robot mustache can smash things.
I like it was a Sega Genesis manual because only I'm gonna get that joke.
Nah, I got that one. I ain't laughing, but I get it.
Yeah. I just realized the irony
Next thing you know, Brian, we'll have to pay the animators because they'll have a union.
The animators will unionize. How many animators did it take to make Jim Carrey in this? And then
I
someone
thought
had to
Jim Carrey animated the whole thing by himself.
some sort of heroes, some sort of Sonic heroes.
Look at them teaming up like friends. Good thing no one actually lives in this town.
Not anymore, no. Jim Carrey just shows up to fuck up this one town over and over. Jim Carrey invented the Killdozer. That's who we're dealing with.
I like the palette swaps on the robot. Now they're black and green because he's got the emerald.
Oh, that's cool. It took a whole movie of no other characters to get to this point. Oh, you know, the Jeff Fowler, the guy who directed these. By the way, these are his first movies and his only movies. He's the guy who did the CGI for like Shadow the Hedgehog, and he did the 06, you know, where Sonic kicks the little robot and knocks it over with the tap of his toe. That's the people who made this. Now, that being said, I'm sure it's not the same 3 people. I'm sure it's like a whole new staff of people.
Hard to say because they don't credit people for these properly, really.
Yeah, you're right. I hadn't thought about that.
There's probably like a dozen people that worked on both that have like not a single letter of their name in this.
We had a dog trainer who was like telling us all the TV shows and the movies he worked on, and he was credited in almost none of them, and I still wonder if he really was in all those.
You could just lie.
You can just lie about anything. I was in the back of Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, I started Tropic Thunder.
I actually was RDJ's understudy in Tropic Thunder.
I directed Tropic Thunder.
Hey, look, he finally got lasers.
Yeah, wait, and they're working. I was right.
You ever see bridges like this and you wonder how they're made? Because I know how they're made now,
Well, they
but I
use
always
metal
wonder.
and concrete.
I know, but we've got these really huge suspension bridges in Washington that go over mountain peaks and shit, and I'm always like, I can't picture making that 100 years ago.
They had a lot of free time. They didn't have Xbox.
They didn't have unions.
Yeah, they didn't have unions either. So yeah, it was a little bit less expensive.
I did a project on like why in college why do they make these giant churches that take 300 years, and it was called They Had Nothing Better to Do, and I had to do this whole thing on like the existentialism of having to build things that'll outweigh your entire existence. It's a real thing.
You know what, people are way too eager to find their place in the world. I'll say that.
That's true. Well,
Sometimes just doing things is enough.
maybe it's
You
one
don't
of
need a
those
whole
things.
parade.
Maybe it's one of those things like you and I do where we're like, if I could just be in something really cool, if I could just help make this giant church or building or castle,
It's something to do.
something to do. Fuck. You gave me the
I find
best.
the people that are the most miserable, Brian, are the people who don't treat it as something to do and treat it as if
a
it's
legacy.
life and death.
Yeah.
Legacy, my legacy of art.
Well, I don't know if you want me blabbing about that you used to do animation stuff in the past and you handled it better than I've handled my entire career. But you said to me, I was like, I love cartoons. I wanna be in an animation studio, and you said to me, I love M&Ms. Doesn't mean I own a chocolate factory.
It's true.
Yeah.
You don't
no,
really want to run the M&M factory. You just want to eat them because they're tasty. But when it comes to making them, all of a sudden it gets a lot more complicated, and now people are yelling at you, and it's like, this isn't fun. And when do I get to eat the M&M?
That's true.
Well, it turns out you never do because you're too busy making them.
What are they driving this time?
I made this giant robot, but I'm nothing compared to something that was made Ford tough.
You know what Ford stands for? Fix it again, Tony. Wait, yeah, you're right. He's still got the robot. It would be funny if the robot couldn't support itself under all the weight because he doesn't have the Chaos Emerald.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, look, the tiny gemeralds are falling out of it, Brian. Those are the Chaos Emeralds.
Oh, my God. That was the note from Sega. They asked Sega how to incorporate it, and they're like, just put them inside the fucking thing.
Who are you?
Sonic's not taller than them, so how did the robot not crush the people?
Well, they can't bring up the big old Master Emerald and for you to play the games not know that this is about to happen.
Well, no, yeah, you know exactly what's going to happen, but I love it. There was a big to-do on Twitter, which means nothing happened, but they changed the effects from the theatrical to the Blu-ray. For no reason. They look fine either way.
Oh, what did they change?
Like, different quality of particles on Sonic, and then, like, I don't think the edges glow on the robot. Same when he summons the chili dog. There's, like, different kind of chili. It's just weird. What do you call it? Like, arbitrary changes that don't...
Well, you know, if you're still paying the CG team and they're just sitting there, may as
You
well
still
do
got-
something.
You got a little extra money to make the chili look better.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Hey,
they're
look,
not paying
they're
them
helping.
anyways.
Look at him help! Get him, Sonic!
That's all he needs is encouragement.
How would a robot work if Sonic was physically blocking your fists? But it was like...
He accidentally clips Agent Stone and takes his arm off. He's like, ah!
They added explosions to this.
I like the "we're not friends" line.
I like
I
later
like it
Hater.
because I like both of them because it sounds like he's not even flexed. He's like, fine.
I like that when Sonic's about to die, he holds his family close, and when Robotnik's about to die, he has to throw out a catchphrase.
That's cool, Sonic. You killed how many pelicans to make that hot dog?
There was a plane in the air.
Still scalding hot.
Oh, those are in his eyes.
And his eyes are giant, so there's more nerves.
More nerves per inch.
One of my favorite Sonic jokes is imagine like him running and a pebble hits him right in the eye.
Oh,
It'd be so much worse than it would be for us.
what if Sonic put his hands in the air and he's like, I'm gonna just summon Eggman back to life. He's like holding him in the air. You're not going anywhere.
He starts beating him with his open hands. He takes his gloves off with his weird fingers.
You get to see that he's actually got like human fingernails.
Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles like find Robotnik and just start eating the flesh off his body. Like,
get them, my brethren!
don't waste the meat, bro.
The Native American never wastes any part of the Robotnik, and neither will we. I do like. Everyone hates. What's the second Star Wars? The sorry, episode 8?
I hate all the Star Wars.
I know. But they're like, you come from nothing, you have no place in this. It doesn't matter where you're from or the relations of your family or what they do. It works in this. These characters are from different warring groups. Why would they fight? Why wouldn't they be friends?
And Sonic's nice a damn orphan.
They're all orphan.
He's like a double orphan. He's like a triple orphan.
What happened to Tails? Does Tails have family?
We'll see his backstory. I'm sure he used to like be a child actor, like Dustin Diamond or Corey Feldman or something.
He's like 45. Yeah, I'm doing the new Sonic picture.
Oh yeah, I need that to be the reveal during this movie. Tails was 48 years old.
I'm 4 feet and 5 inches. Those are 2 separate measurements. Of course, the way they end this is Sonic, where he feels the most alone, is now where he's the least alone.
Yeah, Sonic getting at his weird baseball issues.
There's still like a giant trench from where he destroyed the baseball field.
Yeah, they fixed it. Now he's here to ruin it again. I haven't done any damage to the old baseball stadium in a minute. Oh, fuck.
My leg!
Imagine if one of the human characters tried to catch that. Just hand turns into powder. What a short day out.
Tails can't eat chocolate.
One time.
Tails can't eat chocolate.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he can have some chocolate. He's like, he can walk.
What does that have to do with eating chocolate?
Well, I mean, it kills dogs, but he's like a half dog thing.
So
like,
my
I think
dog,
his mom's a dog and his dad's like a dude, right?
Tails is feeding the dog chocolate. And Knuckles said he wanted grape ice cream. He's feeding the dog grapes.
Hey, have grapes and chocolate.
Toyota didn't pay for this movie. Ford paid for this one. They had to get rid of that old. They had to get rid of that old Ford junker so that they could get the shot perfectly polished and framed.
Toyota's like, we didn't agree that you would cut the top of our car off.
Well, my gal and I were watching this, and she was laughing so hard because she thought the movie was over, and she was just watching a car commercial.
It does feel like a commercial for like an ice cream place or a car. Like, they should have said they were going to Ben & Jerry's. I would have just, synced it in. Did Ben & Jerry's say no?
Hey, look, Chaos Cola. Hey, that's for me. I love it.
Ben & Jerry's is like, no, you will not put our brand in this crap.
Dude, what would your Sonic ice cream flavor be?
Blueberry, obviously. I mean, he's blue.
Blue Blast and blueberry. Blueberry. There you go.
And put in blueberry and some raspberries, and yeah, it'd be a fruity ice cream. Blueberry.
Oh, that's a good one. Knuckles would have to be striking strawberry.
Tin Pander's foot stink sundae.
I guess they'd all be sorbets. Yeah, I'm trying to think. What would Jim Carrey's be?
The animation in this credit sequence is a real downgrade from the 3D stuff.
Yeah, they should have tried harder.
They should have put polygons in here.
It still bothers me that they make Jim Carrey sprites for Robotnik. Like, just to acknowledge it's a different character than the game one.
Yeah, don't make this a video game. This looks fun. Don't do that.
This looks too fun to be a video game. Hey, look, you remember that Sonic mod where they put all 3 of them in, like, the first 2 games? That was really cool.
I know, but it sounds like something Sonic fans would do.
When Sonic fans make good shit, they make good shit. That, yeah, they put 1 and 2 into the same game, and then you play as 3 different characters and swap out.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Like Sonic Heroes style. It's really cool. I think it's Sonic Classic Heroes. I'm sure everyone knows what it is.
Okay, Brian, it's time for final thoughts.
Final thoughts? Huge improvement over the first one. I like this movie way better.
I think it's really done way better. The bar scene was unnecessary and the snowboard scene was unnecessary, but I also get that this is like a fun popcorn movie, so it needs to have a couple of, bonker scenes like that.
How the fuck is he surviving these sequels?
I hope they take the Agent Stone guy and make him the main character. It's nice when they give an actor that nobody knows like an actual chance to like really like do something well.
You know what? So, Jim Carrey likes him so much he would do that too.
Yeah, that would be terrific. I don't see a problem with that whatsoever. He'd interact well with the Shadow character. They should just do that. That seems like the natural way to do things. If they
I'd still
bring
watch
Jim
it.
Carrey back, good, but if they don't bring back Jim Carrey and they go with the Agent Stone actor, that would be great, because, again, I like seeing new actors who can do this kind of thing.
How do you feel about the Shadow
His
reveal?
name is Lee Majuba. I cannot say the last name. My bad.
Majub? All right, Lee.
Lee.
How do you feel about Shadow being in the next one?
Good. They may as well. There's
Fuck it.
like I don't really care what happens with the Chaotix crew or know any of that.
Yeah.
Like, that wouldn't hold up for a movie. That wouldn't. But at least with Shadow, it's like they didn't quite fulfill the whole rival thing with Knuckles, but with Shadow they can do that. And maybe
like a 1-to-1.
The only problem I have with it is that I think it's probably going to be the same issue I have with this movie, to where it is repeating itself.
It's gonna get into that territory a lot. If you made if you were throwing together the Sonic CU, is there anything from the games you would watch? Like any characters or storylines? I want chaos. I think chaos is my favorite thing from the games.
Yeah, I think either the Chaos Monster or Metal Sonic. One of the two could be interesting. But, I mean, you're kind of getting Metal Sonic with Shadow here, so...
They're the same character. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. If they do Shadow and then later do Metal Sonic, or currently within that time frame do Metal Sonic, it'll be like, well, you're putting a hat on a hat. This is the same thing.
Yeah, they would have to be a couple movies apart, but I don't know. That new Netflix
how many
show,
Sonic movies do you need? I doubt that you really need more than 3 of them. Hell, I would have argued that you don't need more than 2 of them.
2 is just enough. I think 3 will be a nice round number.
I think 3 will dictate whether or not
Yeah, it's weird to me. Movies used to be so special, and the plots were always very generic, especially like adaptations of games and TV shows, and because you could only do 1 or 2 at the most. And now it's like, now the third of every movie they like go to the beach for a while. Like Toy Story 4 is the one where they go on a road trip, and you're like, I know there's going to be more of this, so it doesn't carry that same weight of like, who knows if we'll make another.
Well, it has some like potential, because in the first one, like Sonic's rescued and then he has his home and his friends and all that build up. And that was the B story, is like, will Sonic have a friend? Then in this one, they had the whole like catfish wedding thing, which was a way funnier scenario.
Yeah.
And it had a perfect conclusion and worked out just right. But then they do this weird thing with the bars, right? And I like the bar scenes, don't get me wrong, they're good, but like the bar scene in the first one, we saw that in that X-Men movie with Quicksilver. We've already seen that special effect before. And in the second one, they got the dance scene, and it's like, okay, well, it's not the fight scene, but it's the same thing, really.
I just realized there's no reason they needed to go to that bar, right? Because they could have waited till the evening was up. Frankly, they could have gone through the ring and gone, nope, and then just like walked back into Wade's house and then said, all right, we're gonna leave in 4 hours.
Well, I mean, like within the realms of the script, it had no purpose. For the movie, it was like so that they could have fun. And I get the have fun portion, just like the snowboarding thing, right? It's for fun.
Yeah.
But like, I've seen the snowboarding thing and I've seen the bar thing, so when it needs to be for fun, it needs to be something that either I haven't seen before or something done better than I've ever seen it. And those weren't the best bar or snowboarding scenes I've ever seen. They're very well done, but they weren't the best, right? To where the wedding thing, to where the catfish wedding thing, like you could do a whole romantic comedy movie based off of that idea, and they just wedged that in as a C plot.
That's true. That would be a good Melissa McCarthy plot.
You could do a lot of different things with that, yeah.
No, that's absolutely
Overall,
true.
I like it, and I'm excited to see where the third movie goes. Now, will it be good? Will it be bad? I don't know, but I guess we'll hopefully be here to let you know if you care. But by that point, you'll probably have already seen it because it'll be free to watch.
And if you're a fucking Sonic fan, you're gonna see number 3. I mean, it's like Star Wars. Like, you're gonna see it if you like that product.
Oh, yeah. I could poke holes in something all day and still love it. That's the other thing. People, and I think it's because critique, especially on YouTube, is very negative. It's like, I hate this. Here's my channel. I hate everything that I watch, and everything is bad.
Yeah, we could have easily just taken footage of the movie and gone, how could they get all these soldiers onto the island so quickly? And We are grown-ass men, and then we're going to go watch another movie after this. I mean... Oh, we forgot to mention, before we go, I watched the commentary, and the guy who played Sonic was like, I wanted at the very end out of that capsule for Jay Sherman, the critic, to show up and go, Hachi Machi! I'm back, baby!
I would have loved that. That would have been I want a fully 3D rendered critic model with pores on his face, but he has to have the exact same form as a cartoon.
I'm sorry you saw me with a beautiful woman last night. I won't tell anyone. Actually, I want you to tell everyone, especially your mother.
Especially your mother. Spend $50 million on a critic movie, and I promise you'll make your money back. It'll be a hit. It'll be a sudden hit. I promise.